as soon as I got drafted, I kind of treated it more like a job. It's kind of something I learned in Korea. I mean, it took 10 years, but I finally got there. But to just just relax and just have fun playing the game. I mean, as simple as that sounds, it just worrying about just have fun, relax, and at the end of the year, the stats are going to be what they're going to be.
Yeah, I mean, I share that sentiment as well. When I got sent, I thought I was getting released, to be honest, in the spring training of 2016. You know how it would go for me, where I'd lose control, wasn't throwing strikes consistently, and I was just like, this is not good. And then they sent me to AA, and I was like, that's weird. I was like, well, this is probably my last year. I better just, have fun, try to throw the ball hard. Next thing you know, I'm throwing 99 and I'm in the big leagues. I'm like, what the heck?
Just like that. Just free the mind.
It's that easy, right, kids. No, I'm just.
Welcome to me casa, make yourself at home, do your do. Welcome to my pad, this your lab, go create your move.
This episode is brought to you by Subway. What's good, everybody? It's 99 Miles Per Hour Podcast with me, your host, Perci Garner, and I'm back in the studio. Disregard that last episode. We're back in studio with Josh, with a professional. So this episode should be a lot better. And I had a good time recording with Micah, and that one should be up live now. Hopefully that went well. And thank you guys for tuning in. Before we get into this, I want to say a thank you to Subway and Peterman Plumbing for making this podcast possible. And also, I want to make sure you guys are aware of my Discord, where I give out pitching tips and kind of, review your pitching film. A lot of people have sent in stuff now. So if you guys want to join there, the link will be down in the description. And then also go to percigarner.com, check out the merch that will help a student in Tuscarawas County with their college funds and their college expenses. So I'd appreciate it if you go there, percigarner.com, and if you don't like any of the designs, then just tell me new ones to make, and I'll do that too. So, and then also, this is the video format of the podcast, but we're also available on every other podcast platform. So if you are on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, whatever it is, just search 99 Miles Per Hour Perci Garner, and you'll find us. Okay. Without further ado, let's get to our guest. So today I have a guest that I guess we met in 2010 when I was drafted by the Phillies, and a little skinny kid. He was tall, real skinny. I think he was 6'5", 125 pounds or something like that. No, I'm messing, but instantly we became friends, and I just admire this dude. We kind of connected over, our spiritual beliefs and stuff like that. And it kind of took our relationship on and off the field to another level. And obviously he had a longer career than me and is still looking to play. And we'll get into that here later. But without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, introduce Aaron Altair. How we doing?
Hey, I'm doing good, man. Thank you for having me.
I appreciate you. Yeah, I appreciate you coming on, man. And just to make sure you guys, we're just going to get it out there now. It's not Alter. He's German, so it's Altair. And I usually like having dark skinned people on my show, but we'll let this light skinned dude get on for a little bit. No, I'm joking. All right, man, I got to stop joking. It's just, we haven't talked in a while. So it's like, it's like we're getting right back where we left off and just, clowning with each other and stuff. But let me just start with, the current events and, because we haven't caught up in a minute, and that's both of our faults. But I think we're both kind of the people that we're not always reaching out. That's my New Year's resolution every year. Like, all right, I'm gonna hit up my friends and see how they're doing. And then I don't.
Yeah, that'll last until February, and then just forget about it.
Exactly. But so I guess I didn't really talk too much about in the introduction, like who you are and what you've done. You were drafted a year before me in 2009, out of Arizona, Buckeye, Arizona, right? So we got a little Ohio connection there. Yeah. And I exaggerated. Obviously, you weren't 125 pounds, but you were a tall kid from Arizona out of high school.
Yeah, I was probably about 190 at the most.
Oh,
I'm guessing.
Okay.
At the most. So I was probably like 185.
Yeah. So you were obviously the Phillies saw some potential and what you could become. And yeah, you're well past 180, 190 now. So, but no, it's good having you on the show. And I kind of want to, before we get into, your baseball career and all of that, and how we met and all that stuff, I kind of just want to ask you, because we talked a little bit, and you're a new parent, somewhat new. You got a 7-month-old boy named Isaiah, and hopefully you don't mind me saying his name on the internet, but you might be like Drake and try to hide him. I don't know, but
it's easily found.
Okay, good. good. But how's fatherhood? Is it everything you dreamed it would be?
It's something. It's amazing. It's beautiful. Frustrating at times, but it's amazing, man. I love being a father. It's just every day is a little different. He's always learning something new. He's starting to crawl now, so that's brings a whole bunch of new challenges. He's got to watch him everywhere he goes, and he's just trying to crawl all over the house. But it's fun though. He's a fun kid. He's gonna be. I can't wait till he grows up, starts walking and talking, see how funny he can be. Because I think he's gonna be a funny kid when he grows up.
Yeah, the personality starts coming up when they get around 2 to 3, and you're like, oh wow, okay, and then you start to. They just say stuff to make you laugh, and they don't understand why you're laughing, but.
I know. I'm looking forward to the random things that come out of his mouth. And I know he's going to have some random things come out. It's just going to make me laugh.
Yeah.
And probably I think I shouldn't laugh at, but I'm probably going to laugh at anyway.
Yeah, you can't help it, especially if you're like in public and they say something about somebody and you're just like, oh, that's true, but I can't laugh. But that's awesome, man. And I share a lot of the sentiments you just talked about with fatherhood. I've got my 2 kids, and I lived with you actually in Wyomissing. Yeah. We were playing for Reading with Perci. Right. So you got a little taste of it back then.
Little Perci, PG4. Yeah, I see him.
Exactly. He was a little, I would say he was a little knucklehead. He wouldn't obey me all the time, but he's a lot better now.
Yeah.
Can't say the same for my daughter.
How old is he now?
He's 9.
Oh, wow. Jeez.
Yeah. He was 9. It does. You said that, right? You said 7 months has gone fast, right?
Yeah, even the 7 months has gone really fast. You at the time you think it's going kind of slow, but then you look back, it's like, wow, it's already been 7 months, man.
Yeah.
It's flying by.
That's what's up. That's what's up. And we're going to get into the Phillies and how we met and all that, but it was pretty cool this year. I think the last time they were in the World Series was it 2008, the year before you got drafted?
2009.
Oh,
2008. 2009. They
okay.
That was the last time. Yeah.
What'd you think about them being in the World Series? Were you rooting on them? Were you rooting for them, or?
I was. I was. Because obviously I know I still know a couple guys on the team, and I still talk with Nola a little bit. So I was definitely pulling for him for sure. I definitely was. Because also too, playing the Astros, so a little cheating scandal had back in the day. Still got to root against the Astros.
Exactly. I'm still in the same boat. I pitched against against the Astros when I played, but they only played in Cleveland. So,
okay, there you go.
Yeah, but yeah, I was rooting for him as well. Dusty Baker and Neris though, Hector Neris, because he played with us growing up too, or not growing up.
Yeah, I did. At the same time too, I didn't want Dusty to win one because he's been around for so long and hasn't got a World Series too. So. I'm not too mad about it. Yeah. He deserves to have a World Series. He's always a good dude. So I'm happy he was able to get one.
Yeah, maybe I'll have to get Neris on here. It was just good seeing him smile, man. Just because obviously we played with him and rookie ball, short season, all the way up. So, and you got to play. Were you was with the Phillies in the big leagues with you, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I played with Neris. He was always smiling, every single day, no matter how he did in the game. He was always smiling and joking around. So he's a fun teammate to have for sure.
Yeah, true. But we had a lot of good teammates, man. And you were speaking of good teammates, you were one of them as well. I never
appreciate that.
Yeah, no matter what you like, if you've went 0 for 4 or 4 for 4, whatever it was, you were always Aaron, and you were never too high, never too low. You never really got down. Well, you didn't show it at least. I'm sure you were, kind of mad sometimes, like, oh man, this stinks.
Try to keep a lot of stuff inside. Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, at the end, I was just like, it was good to have you as a teammate. And then obviously, attending your wedding and all of that, it showed that our friendship, went further outside of baseball. But talking about baseball, I kind of want to just, and you've played in, Korea and all that, after you left the Phillies and Giants and Mets. But before we get into Korea, I just want to, because I didn't really do this on the introduction, but just talk about, getting drafted out of high school, being that young kid. And I don't know how I would describe you. I wouldn't describe you as an introvert, but I also wasn't sure if you would come on this podcast or not. So I didn't, I was just like, I don't know, is Aaron going to talk a lot or how is this? But just describe being drafted out of high school and how that was.
Yeah, it was fun. It's definitely different just because, that was the first time, obviously been away from home. And I think honestly, it worked out better for me to go to Clearwater instead of being drafted by a team in Arizona. Just because, it gave me a better, is a faster way to grow up in a way, get away from home, don't live at home, get away and you're literally like on my own, it helped me grow up a lot faster than if I had stayed home, I think. And it's funny too, like my first day when I signed and then headed over to Clearwater, it was like around July 4th. So my flight, like when I got my ticket, it didn't have a seat number on it. I was like, oh, what does this mean? So it ended up being overbooked. So I didn't make that flight. Oh. So I had to wait around for a couple hours until the next flight went off. So and then I get there. I didn't know. Obviously, I don't know anybody. I didn't know what was around the hotel, and I went the opposite direction because I was hungry. I was on the opposite direction where all the food was. Because you know the hotel, the La Quinta.
Yeah, La Quinta, baby.
I went the opposite direction of where all the food was. I just ended up getting like some snacks from a grocery or not convenience store, like a little gas station, and walked back. Because I had no idea where I was going. I was like, what am I doing? What am I doing here?
You didn't stop by Personalities or the what was that place that had my favorite dessert? Where the girls...
Oh, Tilted Kilt.
Tilted Kilt. Yeah, yes. I feel like that...
I didn't see it. I don't know how I missed it. I walked the opposite direction. There's a Buffalo Wild Wings right over there, too.
Oh, yeah.
Opposite direction.
I mean, you're 18, like you just said. You were, you could have been like Nola. Nola never even ordered like out at a restaurant when he got drafted. I don't know if you knew that. He did not. It was incredible. But obviously, he's doing big things now. So, and I'm sitting at home, so I ain't gonna talk about it too much. But yeah. So obviously, 18-year-old, drafted out of high school, away from home, forced to grow up a lot quicker than maybe anticipated. When did you know, okay, this could be real. I could be drafted. I could play pro baseball. When did that kind of hit you?
I would say before my senior year of high school, playing summer ball. I was on a club team, and we would play on those like big tournaments where like a lot of big league scouts were there, and when I started getting a lot of I don't know if you remember like the questionnaires, like those before you get drafted, and just filling out those, and I got about 15 or 20 of them. I was like, I might have a chance to do this. This might be real. So I decided to not play basketball my senior year in high school, just to focus on baseball and not get hurt. And obviously it worked out, but a lot of guys weren't happy with me in high school for sure. They wanted me to play, but it's like, nah, I gotta focus on this. I got a chance to. So I was just like, it was a hard decision, because I love playing basketball. I always played growing up.
And you were a beast, right?
Right. Yeah, I mean, I'm not too miles.
See, I know you didn't want to say it, but from what I've heard and what I've seen when we do our minor league trips to the gym, you had some game.
A little basketball, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it was a hard decision, but honestly, it was worth it. The bad thing too was my high school, they went to the championship that year too and lost in the championship, and that made it a little worse. They're like just blaming me for the whole thing. Like, it's not my fault you guys lost, man.
Dang, yeah, I can imagine, because high school, that's all you really care about. And most of those guys, I don't know your high school, but probably 99% of them didn't go on to play professional sports, maybe college, but You know, for you had to look. You had to
a couple
look.
guys that made college, yeah.
Oh, okay.
But not many.
Gotcha. Did you have colleges you might have been looking at if you didn't get drafted where you wanted to be, or?
Yeah, I was committed to U of A, and then there's a couple other colleges too. I can't really remember now, but I was committed to go to U of A. You know, the thing with that too is if I had gone, we would have won my junior year. Like they won it all, and it would have been my junior year. So, but either way, you know, it's whatever. I got a GCL ring, so got that Gold Coast League ring.
That's what's up, man. Hey, it's the same thing in my book. No. I mean, I never came close to winning a national championship in college, so it's all good. But
actually got a KBO ring too, so that kind of makes up for it.
Oh yeah, I remember that. What was that your first year?
The first year, yeah.
Nice, because I remember a lot of this stuff on Twitter. I was like, hey, look at Aaron doing big things. But I guess since you brought that up, let's talk about that. So you played what, 2 years in Korea, 2020 and 2021?
Yeah.
How was that? Do you think the experience would have been different if there wasn't a pandemic going on?
Oh yeah. I mean, I didn't really experience the full Korea, you know, which is kind of sad. You know, I was looking forward to it because my first year, we didn't even have fans in the stands at all. I think we had it for maybe 2 weeks of the season. And then we just played in empty stadiums the whole year. And I mean, you just felt like you were playing exhibition games all the time. Yeah. But so yeah, I didn't get the full effect of it. And also too that the fans there, you know, they're into the game. They got songs that they sing. Really? Every hitter has their own walk up song that the team kind of makes their own song, and the fans are dancing to it and singing along with it. So it's a cool atmosphere. It's really fun. But I mean, it's a shame I couldn't really experience all that. But I still had a good time. You know, my wife Samantha and I, you know, we still had a good time, and we enjoyed it. And but yeah, it was definitely cool to win that the championship in the first year for sure, because that was actually the first championship for that team, and ever since they've been, you know, an organization, it was the first championship. So it was kind of cool to be a part of that.
What was your team name?
The NC Dinos.
Okay, because I know I saw you played against Samsung, and I was like, "Hey, man, Samsung, come on now." Did you get to play against anybody you played against in the MLB or with over there? Did you
actually? Yeah, there's actually a lot of guys, a lot of Phillies guys, like really? Ben Lively.
Oh yeah,
David Buchanan.
Oh yeah, Buchanan. I don't know why he's forget. I gotta get him on here too.
Yeah, I mean, I've played with like Justin Bohr was there for a little bit.
Okay.
I know there's a lot of other guys too, but it's almost seemed like every new guy, every new foreigner over there was somebody I knew. I was like, wow, I know you too. Like everybody I know is playing over there, but you know, baseball's a small world, man.
It is.
You just kind of know everybody at some point. You kind of run into everybody, so it was cool.
Did that help you? Obviously by that time you were, you know, what were you, 28, 7, 8? So you were in the
29.
29.
First year 29, yeah.
So different than when you first got drafted in 18, but you're still going to a foreign place. Was it nice to have, you know, familiar faces and stuff like that?
It definitely was. Because it's, you know, I've never experienced playing overseas like that. So it was definitely definitely different culture, especially where we were, because we're as far south as you can get for South Korea. Oh, okay. So there was just, you couldn't really get many American restaurants. Like we go up to Seoul, where a lot of teams were. It's basically America. You know, there's a whole bunch of English speakers over there, and there's restaurants that like on the border. You know, just kind of restaurants like that. And like where I was, it was just the full Korean experience. You know, and nobody speaking English. So only restaurant we had that we knew was Dunkin' Donuts, and that was close to our apartment. That was it.
Did you learn a little bit of Korean Spanish or Korean Spanish, Korean language?
I actually did. Yeah, actually, I can read it pretty good. I picked up on it pretty well.
Really?
Because we also had a guy that worked with the team that kind of helped out I call them foreigners, but you know, American guys, English speakers. But like during spring training, you know, we would have different classes, I guess, like going over Korean culture and learning how to, you know, read and write Korean. So it definitely helped out because I was able to you don't realize how many words are actually in English, like, but they're written in Korean. So if you know Korean, you can kind of read. It's like, oh, okay, that's what that is. So, it's they just just translate the English word into Korean. So
gotcha.
But yeah, I actually can read it pretty good.
That's what's up. Now I wasn't too good at Spanish. Did you learn Spanish as well, or would you not really take the time?
Yeah, I didn't take the time.
You just knew all the bad words.
Yeah, pretty much. Just whatever the Latin guys were saying all the time. But man. I didn't take Spanish in high school either. I took German, so I never really learned any kind of Spanish.
Look at you! You're just making perfect segues. I was just about to go into because you were born in Germany.
Trying to help you out.
You were born in Germany, so before that class, did your dad? Because your mom's American, right? It's just your dad that's German.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Did your dad make it a point to teach you German or no?
I was kind of a tough kid, I guess. That's what they tell me anyway. Like, I guess I was really, really stubborn with it. Like I think my dad was trying to teach me German, but I would just I wouldn't answer him until he spoke English. So he just gave up.
We'll never know though. That could have just been a parent's excuse. You never know. No?
Yeah.
Sounds like an excuse I would make to my son. Yeah, man, you didn't want to learn nothing, man, so I didn't teach you nothing. Sorry.
Yeah.
But no. Now that also brings me back to, why baseball? You said your dad played. I don't know if people are familiar. I'm a nerd a little bit in soccer because of the video game. Made me want to. I learned so much about all the different leagues across the world. Now your dad played in the German league, but it was Bundesliga, but the second tier or.
Or
am I making stuff up?
I'm not sure if he got that high.
Okay,
but he did play professionally over there.
Oh, okay.
For a few years, yeah, he did. I can't remember exactly how high the team got.
Yeah, and he didn't push you to play soccer.
No. I mean, I played as a little kid when pretty much everybody plays soccer. Yeah. But he never pushed it on me because he honestly always loved baseball. Like whenever he came to the States, he kind of fell in love with the game, and not that he was pushing me towards that direction, but he definitely didn't mind me playing baseball at all. Because he loved watching the Orioles when we first came over here, just because my mom was from Baltimore, and so they just kind of started cheering on the Orioles, and when Cal Ripken was there and everything, so he just kind of took a shining to baseball and loved watching it, and he wishes he could have played it. He wishes that obviously they don't have baseball in Germany. I mean they kind of do now, but back then they didn't have no baseball, so he kind of wishes they had that so he could have played. But yeah, he always liked it.
Oh, okay. So I don't know. I don't think I ever asked you that, but. Yeah, and I didn't know. I don't think I knew your mom was from Baltimore either. Dang, I'm finding out all this stuff on the podcast. Now, we've talked about KBO and MLB, but for someone like a fan of the MLB who knows nothing about playing baseball in Korea, how would you do a comparison or compare and contrast the two different leagues? Like, what's different?
I mean, obviously, MLB is the top of the food chain for sure. You got the best talent in the MLB, but honestly, KBO really wasn't that far off, to be honest. I'd say it was, a lot of AAA talent for sure, but sprinkled in with a little MLB talent. But it's just a different game. It's just different. Everything's just different. The way they pitch you, the way their balls move. It definitely takes some getting used to. And I know a lot of guys might go over there thinking they're going to just dominate, and then they end up getting sent home because they didn't do very well. Because they're real quick to pull a trigger and send you home. So it's you got to perform or you're gone pretty much. So wow. It's just like a lot of guys probably think they go over there and I got this, and they end up doing terrible and get sent home. So it's obviously they're not the velocity isn't as much as it is over here. Obviously they're not throwing 99, 100, but they definitely mix up their pitches a lot, and it makes it difficult. It's a challenge for sure. It's a good league over there.
Yeah, that I hear that the pitch sequence isn't it's not the same as the MLB where most people. I mean, there is different. Some people pitch backwards, but
especially nowadays for sure.
Yeah, and pitching backwards just mean, most people start with a fastball, just for the people watching might not know, but pitching backwards just means starting off with off speed first. I always thought, I had a chance to go to Japan and Korea, but I think in Korea, they don't accept American relievers, do they? Just starters?
Yeah.
Is it something like
Usually
that?
it's mostly starters, yeah.
Gotcha.
There's not too many guys that come in just for relief. It's usually starters. Dang. But I mean, you started back in the day. You could have done that.
I don't know, but I was trash when I was a starter. But
I tell you what, man, velocity, dude. That's all you need, really. That's what they look for over there, because there's not a whole lot of velocity, and a lot of Korean guys, like players over there, they can't handle the velocity because they're not used to seeing it.
Yeah.
So that's why a lot of pitchers go over there and do pretty well if they throw pretty hard.
Yeah.
They're just not used to seeing that.
Yeah, I would have fit in pretty well then, but hey. But
nasty stinker guy too.
Did you? No, you were. I think you were already big time by the time I played the Reading again. Because I got to go back and face Reading after I struggled in Reading, and then I was with the Indians.
Oh yeah.
Then I came back because obviously nothing against the Phillies. I'm sure your experience was great. The people there are great. They're great people in that organization. But I just feel like me and the Phillies didn't have a good marriage, and then when I got with the Indians and came back and pitched in Reading again as a rubber duck, I shoved, faced Harold, Cade him, faced the funniest dude ever and the best hitter I've ever seen in AA ball, Jake Fox. It was just funny to come back and I think even Shrinky was like, "What pitch are you throwing?" I'm like, "The pitch that you guys wouldn't allow me to throw, dang it, the sinker." But because before, because I want to kind of get into the potential of life after baseball. Because you're getting old. What are you, about 36? No, you're 31, aren't you?
31. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Are you? What kind of dog you got?
It's a boxer pit bull mix. She is making too much noise.
You got somebody intruder or what?
I don't know. You always think somebody breaking in the house. I don't know what she's doing.
Good protector. Good protector. My dog doesn't do anything like that. But but I kind of want to ask you what player, coach, no matter what it is, what was your biggest influence in baseball? Even it could be off the field. If you want to say me, since my spirituality and how I impacted your life. No, seriously, player, coach, whoever it was, who do you think had the biggest impact? Now, obviously, there's going to be more than one person, so don't feel like you're going to leave someone out. But just the first person that comes to your mind where you're just like, yeah, man, I love the way they coach. Or I love them as a teammate.
First off the field, I would definitely say my parents and Samantha, my wife. They're always, they helped me, as you said before. I stayed even keel and never really showed too much emotion. They always helped me with that, and spiritually as well. Just not letting things bother me, and just know that God always has a plan, and it's okay if you struggle. Just the mental side of it. They really helped me out a lot with that. Just always being there for me. And then, I would say baseball wise, I would say Matt Stairs was my hitting coach in 2017.
Matt Stairs.
He changed my swing around a little bit, and I ended up having a really good year that year in the big leagues. And so yeah, I'd definitely, baseball wise, would probably be Matt Stairs for sure. He helped me out a lot.
I remember Matt Stairs playing with him on Triple Play 98. With the white cleats for the Athletics, dude. Matt Stairs, that's awesome.
Hitting bombs.
Yes, exactly. If he told me to change my swing, I'll probably be changing it too. But we know I don't swing the bat.
Stay away from that. Just stay on the mound.
Hey, I got a couple of hits at Reading, so relax.
Oh, okay.
They weren't hard, but they got through. And I got some RBIs. But anyways, I'll stop tooting my horn too. Were there any other besides basketball, real quick, because I don't want to do the fast five questions, but I do want to get you out of here before we get into the one last question, how life will be after baseball. Was there any other sports that maybe early on? Because for me, basketball, like when I was young, I was like, basketball is going to be the sport. And then it turned out that I wasn't even good. Like, like football and baseball were definitely, the one for me. But early on, were you like, or were you not even into like sports heavily? Like early on, like were you into? I know you said you played soccer, but was it something you were like had something in your mind like I want to be a professional athlete early on, or did it kind of just happen for you later?
No, for me, I was definitely early on. I always knew I was be some kind of professional athlete. Like you, like growing up, I always thought it was gonna be basketball. And once that all the those questionnaires started coming in for baseball, and I started doing well and having a good showing in those tournaments. Then I started leaning more towards baseball, and also just knowing that there's a lot more opportunity in baseball than there would be for basketball. For like basketball, you have like maybe one position you can play, but baseball, there's multiple positions you can do, and there's a lot more openings. I felt so. I decided to just stick with baseball and thought that was my best chance at becoming the professional athlete. And
you're correct.
And,
you were correct, sir.
But I also played basketball, football growing up as well. But I never played high school. But I just kind of Pop Warner growing up, just played like 4 years of football as well. And because I was always into sports, I was always playing something. I was staying busy with that for sure.
Gotcha. I asked that just because, especially in my area, I'm sure all over the United States, kids are being more pressured to kind of pick a sport early on. Like my son, he wants to play soccer right now, and I'm like, dude, you're going to play at least 3 sports. If you don't want to play a sport, you're going to do something. Like you're going to do something. You're going to do extracurricular activities. So
right.
Since you want to play sports, he doesn't want to play baseball, but he has no choice until he's about 12.
Yeah,
I'm like, you haven't even faced your friend yet. There's nothing better coming in the batter's box. You look up and it's your best friend from math class, and you're like, oh shoot, And those are like the most fun things about baseball. They always say it's a kid's game.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But
I think it's important to play multiple sports for sure. I think playing multiple sports helps you out a lot. Like if you just stick with baseball, you don't get the kind of athleticism and versatility you can get if you play basketball as well. I think all sports kind of work together to help you become the best athlete you can be. Because I never got why people just focused on just one sport, like when they're like 8 years old. Like just let them play everything. Let them do all the sports, and just after once they're in high school, maybe have them pick a sport that they like. But up until then, just let them play all the sports and just have fun with it.
Exactly. One last question. I keep putting in these one last questions before we get to life after baseball, but I'm just curious because I'm starting to turn this YouTube channel into I want to give people baseball advice. I can only give pitching advice. So, and I also didn't have your career. So I know how my career went. I know what advice I can share from what I learned in my career, but in your career, what would, sometimes I phrase it like this, what would you tell yourself if you were in high school? No, if you were, an aspiring baseball player, and obviously you've went through your career, and like what advice, or like, even if it's not advice, just what would you tell 17, 18-year-old Aaron to look out for?
Honestly, the biggest advice I would give myself is just to treat it like a game. As soon as I got drafted, I kind of treated it more like a job than a game, and I kind of like mentally, it would mess me up a lot. Like I might not have showed it, but I was always beating myself up. If I got out, if I had an 0-4, and I would just pressure myself the next day to try to get hits, but it's kind of something I learned in Korea. It took 10 years, but I finally got there. But to just relax and just have fun playing the game. I mean, as simple as that sounds, it just sometimes we can let the game, just get too far ahead of ourselves with the game, and just not treat it as a game anymore. Treat it as a job, and I got to do this, I got to get this hit, got to get these stats, and instead of just worrying about just have fun, relax, and at the end of the year, the stats are going to be what they're going to be. Instead of forcing the stats to be there. That's really what I did with Korea, and ended up having my best, 2 seasons in my whole career. I had 31 homers and 100 RBIs, 20 stolen bases in the first year. I had 32 homers on like another 90 RBIs and then another 20 stolen bases in my second year. So I had the best 2 years of my life in Korea, and I just kind of just changed my mindset, and it helped a lot.
Yeah, I mean, I share that sentiment as well. When I got sent, I thought I was getting released, to be honest, in the spring training of 2016. Mm-hmm. I was like, they're not putting me on the team. No, that was when the Phillies released me in 2015. I was with the Indians. I had already went through a season, and I pitched well that season in 15. But in 16, I just felt like it was all over again. You know how it would go for me, where I'd lose control, wasn't throwing strikes consistently, and I was just like, this is not good. And then they sent me to Double-A, and I was like, that's weird. I was like, well, this is probably my last year. I better just, have fun, try to throw the ball hard. Mm-hmm. Next thing you know, I'm throwing 99 and I'm in the big leagues. I'm like, what the heck?
Just like that. Just free the mind.
It's that easy, right, kids. No, I'm just But no, I want to end with like, what is there something you want to do or accomplish outside of baseball that you'll look to do, once baseball's over for you?
Oh man, I honestly haven't really even thought about that.
That's good though. That's good.
Yeah.
I always beat myself up because I had a plan B, and I feel like that's why plan A didn't last as long. Because I was always like, well, just in case, I suck this year, I'm gonna set up this job on the side.
I honestly haven't really thought about it. I'm still looking to get in the game, and I say for right now, I'd say just be the best father I can be. Just try to raise up Isaiah as a God-fearing boy that just respects his parents. It's going to end up being a contribution to society, and then unlike a lot of these kids nowadays, they're just nuts right now. So it's just trying to be the best father I can be.
Yeah, it's going to be fun. All the challenges and everything you're facing. Obviously, we're here we've raised 2 kids and they're perfect. So just call us. No, but no, yeah, we do need to stay in touch more often. I'm glad we did the show. I appreciate you coming on, and maybe I'll have to, connect sometime outside of this podcast, and because I think we plan on, I might have Biddle on, because Biddle played in Japan, and he's playing. I think they just won as well.
Oh, nice.
And we'll all have to. I mean, you're way out there though, but they're in Pennsylvania, so they're not very far from me.
He's a little closer than I am.
But somehow we'll have to figure something out. But I'm sure I'll see you online gaming. And but again, appreciate you coming on the show. Love you, and I appreciate everybody who's tuning in to 99 miles per hour. Had a little drought, but we back, and more content to come. Remember, PerciGarner.com, help a student with college expenses. And my pitching Discord down below will get you throwing 120 mile an hour if you join. No,
believe it.
I'm messing around, but no. Again, make sure you guys follow us on all social medias. It's all down there. We'll plug Aaron's social media down below as well. You have Twitter and Instagram, right?
I do, yeah.
Okay, good. We'll plug that all down.
Not as active on Twitter anymore, but mostly Instagram right now.
Oh, okay. Get it together. But yeah. I guess until next time, we'll see you, next Tuesday. Peace.
I got a crib by the water, say me casa, su casa. It feels like Casablanca, shawty, you my little mama. I got a crib by the water, say me casa, su casa. It feels like Casablanca, shawty, you my little mama. She be on that Henny, I like that Corona.